Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Kano Tryharding Modern. Now, usually, I play Eldrazi Tron in the Mad Meta Magic slot, but it's gotten a little more popular, and I think it's a little bit more meta mainstream. So we're going to play it today. The one thing that I will say is I've not seen a version of Eldrazi Tron playing Forsaken Monument, so we're going to find out if that's any good today. My suspicion is it's probably not bad. So, I don't really know that I have too much to say for this. We just have a huge Tron, or a huge Karn Wishboard, one Dismember in the side. And then the main deck is, of course, trying to assemble Eldrazi temples or the Tron lands to power down Eldrazi kind of ahead of the curve. And then beating face, really. That's what this deck does. So I'm going to go ahead and take this into a Modern League, and we'll see how we do. I'll see you guys in round one. Alrighty, round one, here we go. I am not yet fully caffeinated, so hopefully we do well. Well, we're close. This is a Chalice on 2, Matter Reshaper on 3, and then nothing until turn 5. I'm still going to try keeping this because Chalice has seemed very powerful versus a lot of decks, and they may not expect it immediately. Alright, we are against Tron. Come on, Power Plant. Power Plant off the top, come on. Expedition map. I could play that and put off Chalice until next turn. Yeah, I'm gonna do that. Pass the turn. That kinda sucks. If we'd had this at our opener, it would have been a lot better. We untap and draw an Eldrazi Temple. Well, we still can't play Reality Smasher regardless of what happens, so let's get a Power Plant. Then play Chalice on one. Pass the turn. If our opponent, like, plays Karn, nukes tower, or something like that, we play Smasher and kill Karn. They got Tron. They play Karn. Kill tower. Well, aha! You didn't suspect the second tower. Get him, Smasher. Kill Karn. Problem is, though, unless we draw Karn Great Creator, we can't interact with our opponent's mana base. This is either Walking Ballista on 4 or Ugin. Oh, it's a World Breaker. I did not expect World Breaker, I'll be completely honest. That's a problem. We draw Karn. Play Power Plant. Play Matter Reshaper. Pass the turn. We can't attack, so... Opponent plays a Mine. They play Worm Coil. They attack, so we chump with Matter Reshaper. Yeah, I'll put Chalice on the battlefield. If I have to wish for Ensnaring Bridge or something, then that way I don't have extra cards in my hand. I'll play Cavern, name Eldrazi, play Karn, wish with Karn, and I mean Forsaken Monument's kind of cool. Karn is definitely dying this turn. I don't think there's anything I can do to save him. I have another Karn and I have a single land. I still think I get Bridge, even though it's likely my opponent will just be able to like play Karn and kill it. Okay, they attack Karn twice, that's fine. Karn down. They play another Worm Coil. They play a Thrag Tusk. Alright. We untap. We draw Mine. Play Mine. Play Ensnaring Bridge, and we just have to hope for no Karn for like one turn, so that we can play Karn, wish for Liquid Metal Coating, and blow up Power Plant to take them off of Tron. Okay, no Karn for a turn. Play Eldrazi Temple. Play Karn. Wish for Liquid Metal Coating. Play Coating. Pass the turn. Turn off a tower. That's always a terrifying sentence. It's not turn off the tower, it's turn off a tower. Opponent plays their own Karn. Now that's no longer a thing. So we're going to have to play Ugin the Ineffable and hope we can kind of dig our way out of this with him. They kill our Chalice on one to play Ancient Stirrings. This is bad. Ugin the Spirit Dragon thankfully only shoots Karn to death. I was going to say thankfully doesn't hit anything that we have that's colorless, but unfortunately is very powerful. We draw Reality Smasher. Play Ugin the Ineffable. Uptick Ugin. Yeah, I think this game is over, but we'll keep playing for a minute because we don't have Oblivion Stone, we don't have a board wipe. We have All Is Dust, but that doesn't do anything. That's a 7 mana, sacrifice your Thragtusk, please. Yeah, they shoot Ugin down to 2. Like, we assembled Tron before our opponent did, and if we'd had Karn Great Creator in our opener, yeah, we would have been fine. I'm good. I'm good to call it good. Which normally it feels like Eldrazi Tron, at least for me, is favored in this matchup. Maybe I just don't know how to play the Tron matchup. And I thought I did. So versus Tron, I don't think we actually make any adjustments. I could main deck Sorcerous Spyglass. I wish there was a Pithing Needle here. Because Dismember is probably not going to kill anything of value at any point. But if I bring Sorcerous Spyglass into the main deck, I'm not going to do anything with it. All Is Dust does literally nothing, so I think I'll bring in Walking Ballista and Wormcoil over that. Alright, yeah. Let's run it back. Hopefully on the play we can assemble Tron into Karn and blow up lands. Oh, this is not what I wanted to do. I think this is a mulligan. Alright, Natural Tron. We'll keep. Put back Crawling Barrens. Start mine. Pass the turn. Opponent starts Power Plant map. We draw Eldrazi Temple, which we can't use to accelerate, unfortunately. Play Power Plant, pass the turn. Opponent plays Tower, so they are going to have Tron. Okay, well the best thing we can hope for is that Thought Knot can nab something here. Like, hopefully they only have one payoff at best. They have second Tower, Sphere Star, Expedition Map, Thragtusk. Take Thragtusk. They're going to have to cantrip into a threat, which probably means they're not going to have the mana to cast that threat, at which point we can Thought Knot Seer them again. Okay, they pick up Urza's Mine. So opponent untaps, plays Urza's Mine, plays Star, cracks it, plays Karn, plays Sphere, plays another Star, animates Star as a blocker. Alright, we untap, draw Karn. So I can wish for Sky Sovereign, kill Chromatic Star, hit Karn for 4 and take him to 2, and then play another Thought Knot. No, I can't play anything else at that point. What am I thinking? So players is mine. Play Karn. Wish with Karn. Get Sky Sovereign. Play Sky Sovereign. Kill Chromatic Star. Opponent gets to draw. Go to combat. Attack Karn, down to 2. So this way, if they wish with him, he dies. They could wish for Ensnaring Bridge, and that would probably stop us from attacking. But we would then have to go get, like, Sorcerous Spyglass and shut off our Karns. Okay, so they play Star, Map, Tower, Animate Star. Alright, we draw. Expedition Map. So, animate Sky Sovereign, go to combat, attack our opponent, shoot Karn, opponent chumps, gets to draw a card. Yeah, I think the animate to block was a little bit questionable there, but play Thought Knot Seer. They have nothing in hand, which means whatever we get obliterated with next turn is what they top decked. Alright, play Wormcoil. Play Expedition Map. Pass the turn. Next turn we'll probably just get Liquid Metal Coating and start trying to blow up lands. But I mean, they're basically, well, yeah, they're dead on board. Cool. So I guess we would just kill them with what we have on board. We wouldn't get Liquid Metal Coating. Alright, run it back. This hand is not terrible. It is also not great. I think we keep it, though. Opponent starts mine into map. We draw Karn. Play Temple Map. And pass the turn. Obviously, if we could top deck another Eldrazi Temple, that would be our best possible top deck. Opponent is going to have Tron. We draw Dismember, which is not what we were hoping for. Players is mine. Play Matter Reshaper. Opponent goes and gets Power Plant. The only problem with me doing this is if they play Karn Great Creator, we can't crack Expedition Map. Okay, they play Star. They sack Star for green. Just a Thragtusk. Sylvan Scrying. Yeah, they might be going deep for the Ulamog here. They get a Sanctum of Ugin, just a whole bunch of lands. I need to draw a land. That's what I need. I think Power Plant is what they got off of their initial map, so we know they're holding those two cards. We untap. We draw Forsaken Monument, which is not a land. Alright. Let's go get, I think, another Eldrazi Temple is correct. And hit our opponent for 3. Odds are they're going to play like Sanctum of Ugin, Walking Ballista on 4, or Sanctum of Ugin into Ugin, which is a huge issue, because then they get to tutor up something like Ulamog, and we're going to have a bad time. Interesting that they went for another power plant. They're probably holding another tower, and they want to get to redundant Tron lands as fast as they can, especially if they don't actually have a Haymaker to like knock us out of this game with. Alright, opponent plays a second tower into Karn Grey Creator. They wish for Oblivion Stone. I, for some reason, thought this added Indestructible. Okay, we draw Blast Zone. So play Blast Zone, and I think we play... Well, first we go to combat and we kill Karn. And if they've got a Dismember, they'll use it. Otherwise, they're banking on Oblivion Stone, which we can shut off with Karn. Okay. Wish. Get a Liquid Metal Coating. Pass the turn. I really wanted to play Thought Knot there to try and take out whatever they're going to follow this up with, but they would just activate O-Stone. Like, it would not be good. Okay, opponent plays the power plant they wished for earlier. Pass. We draw an Urza's Mine. Play the Mine. Play Coating. Blow up Mine. Play Thought Knot Seer. Take a look at our opponent's hand. They got nothing. Just lands. Alright, go to combat. Hit them for 3. So next turn we're playing Forsaken Monument, just trying to beat down as hard as we possibly can. Probably blowing up a land in the process. Opponent plays a forest. They're holding Urza's Mine so that they can have like a pocket. Do I play Smasher instead? I don't think so. So I'm going to target the tower. Blow up the tower. And we're going to play Forsaken Monument this turn. Is that right? Colorless creatures you control get +2/+2. This is a 6/6. There's a 5. I think that's... Because then we can follow this up with... Actually, they're going to want to kill Karn. They have nothing in hand to kill Karn with. So we're just going to attack with Matter Reshaper. And next turn we can play Reality Smasher and haste our way in for a ton of damage. We can even, if they block Reality Smasher or something, we could Dismember to deal maximum damage. But we need to keep Karn alive for a turn, so we have to keep Eldrazi back. Because they can play Urza's Mine and reassemble Tron, but if we blow up that other tower, they can't. So, awesome, we got the match. Just barely, but we did. I will see you all in round 2. Alright. Round 2, here we go. I would like to play first. This is very slow. Like, if this hand had an Eldrazi Temple, it would be really good, but I think we have to mulligan this. I mean, it doesn't do anything. This hand doesn't do anything. Yeah, we're gonna go to 5. Regret. Going to 4. Alright. We can do something. So we gotta put 3 cards back. We're putting back Chalice, Map, and Smasher. Alright. At the very least, we get to play a Smasher this game. If we top deck Eldrazi Temple, we get to play Thought Knot Seer first. Opponent starts Power Plant, because it's always Tron. We untap. Draw Tower. Play Tower. Play Matter Reshaper. Pass the turn. At least we get to play Thought Knot Seer before they fully assemble Tron. And it is green Tron. I should have known immediately from the Chromatic Star, but I wanted to call that out now. Opponent plays an Urza's Tower, because that's the card they revealed. Then they play a Chromatic Star. We untap. Draw an Urza's Mine. Play Urza's Mine. Take a peek at their hand. Wormcoil and Karn Liberated plus Urza. I can't beat either of these cards. Karn feels like 5% more beatable than Wormcoil, so... But neither of them are good. Take Wormcoil, go to combat, hit them for 3. Opponent untaps. Wait, they're holding a tower? No, they revealed tower. They play Urza's Mine. Here comes Karn. They drew Wormcoil? What? That's illegal. You can't do that to me. I just took that card from you. Gross. Well, I guess we play Urza's Mine and lose. Pass to our opponent. Now they have Karn or Wormcoil backed up with a Karn. They're gonna take a card from our hand. It's a Wastes. Okay, we untap. Draw Reality Smasher. Play Reality Smasher. So no matter what, we're hitting Karn for like 7 at minimum, but we lose a creature when we do, and our opponent gains a ton of life. I think we gotta do it. But then they just down... Well, they have to uptick Karn to keep Karn alive. And they're gonna kill Thought-Knot Seer to draw a card. Karn's gonna go up to 6, which may as well be a million because we can't attack him down. They play an Urza's Mine. They play a Relic. They cycle Relic. New Karn. Uptick him to 10, no value. At least they could attack with Wormcoil if they wanted. Like, we'd have to draw another Smasher for it to be good. Alright. We're just gonna I can't beat that. Double Wormcoil, double Karn. Brutal. Walking Ballista, Wormcoil in, all his dusts out, pray for a better hand, and move to game 2 of round 2. Alright, I would like to play first. And it's Tron. Keep. Hopefully we can, I don't know, Chalice on 1, Chalice on 2, and play Reshaper, and that'll matter. Starters is mine. Pass the turn. Opponent untaps, plays Power Plant. Into a map. We play Power Plant. Chalice on 1. Pass the turn. Hang on 1 second. Let me check my deck list really quick. Modern. Eldrazi Tron. Alright, we only have Maze Mine Tome and Mind Stone in the 2 drops. We draw Reality Smasher. Play Urza's Tower. Since my opponent did not immediately play a second Tron land, I'm going to go for the Chalice of the Void on 2 and play Matter Reshaper. Wow! Alright, I didn't expect that. But, you know, I'm glad it worked. Run it back. The old double Chalice lethal. Gets him every time. Oh, man. Alright, well, we know that's good versus Tron on occasion. Alright, double Eldrazi Temple. No Eldrazi. Sure, we'll keep. I mean, if we draw a Thought Knot in our first couple of draws, being on the draw, it'll be great. Otherwise, we can map for a 3rd Temple and play Endbringer, I guess. I get the distinct sense my opponent mulliganed to 2. I was like, they've not done anything for a bit. I bet they're mulliganing. And then this little 7 up here changed to a 2, which was very concerning. So Endbringer's probably enough. Alright, they've got Tron. Or they will have Tron. Oh, you should wait to crack this. What if you draw Sylvan Scrying? See, what'd I tell you? You should have waited. I make that mistake all the time. Well then, now the question is it faster to assemble Tron than it is to just play out temples? You know what? I'm gonna go for it. Crack, get tower, pass the turn. Opponent plays a forest. They have 1 unknown in hand. We draw Scavenger Grounds, play Mine, play Mind Stone, play Walking Ballista, pass the turn. Could have waited, made a huge Ballista, but I feel like having it on 1 could potentially disrupt some Planeswalker-y shenanigans. Maybe. Alright. Opponent does nothing. We untap and draw an Expedition map. Play Tower. Go to combat. Attack for 1. Opponent goes to 19. Play Endbringer. Play Expedition map, and we will be mapping for Ghost Quarter. Opponent cycles Wilt. Pass the turn. And the game is over. Well, the game was over when my opponent mulliganed to 2, really. I mean, the fact of the matter is they had 2 Tron lands, and on 2 there was an opportunity for them to like top deck the 3rd into top deck Karn, which would have beaten us, I'm pretty sure. I'm just glad that worked out in our favor. I'll see you guys in round 3. Alrighty, round 3. Here we go. No fast mana, but a Ghost Quarter. I'm gonna mulligan. Alright, it's Tron. I think Forsaken Monument's what gets put back here. I mean, it could be Matter Reshaper, but yeah, I think it's Monument that gets put back. If we need it, we can wish for it. We have 1 in the side. Opponent starts Auntie's Hovel into revealing Skirk Prospector, playing Aether Vial. We untap, draw Power Plant, so play Power Plant. Play map. Pass the turn. I guess we just have to hope for Dismember to do something here. Opponent puts Vial on 1. Plays a second Vial. Alright, well potentially Karn Great Creator is going to be great here. Players is mine. Pass the turn. Opponent untaps, ticks up both of their Vials. Plays a Bloodstained Mire, cracks Bloodstained Mire for a mountain into a Pyre of Heroes. Alright, on my opponent's end step, get tower, we untap, draw Endbringer, play tower, play Karn Great Creator. If they want to activate Vials, they got to do it now. Okay, they're going to put Skirk Prospector into play. Okay, so then we're going to wish, get Trinisphere, play Chalice on 0, then play Trinisphere. So they have to have a land if they want to play anything else. Although if they could kill Karn, this is really bad. Like if they have like land Goblin King, I think it is. 4 mana Goblin Ringleader. It's got haste. They reveal 4 cards, so they get a Skirk Prospector and a Munitions Expert. They can attack Karn for 2. Alright. Karn goes down to 1. We untap. We draw Chalice. Play Power Plant. Play Matter Reshaper. Play Endbringer. Uptick Karn. I just realized that Munitions Expert is going to kill Karn. That is unfortunate. I actually needed to hold up Dismember so I could kill something in response to the Munitions Expert trigger. But that won't be their entire turn because they have Vials. So we're going to have to hope that well, they have to tap out for Munitions Expert, but then there's a Trinisphere on board and my opponent has Aether Vials, which is just bad news for us. Okay. Yep. Should have held up Dismember rather than play Matter Reshaper. Our opponent has unlocked their Vials and Pyre of Heroes. Opponent puts another Goblin Ringleader into play, revealing Skirk Prospector and a second Munitions Expert. Opponent passes. We untap. Draw map. Go to combat. Attack. They're going to Vial in a 3-drop. It's a Goblin Matron. Okay. Probably going to get Conspicuous Snoop, I imagine. Kiki Jiki. Alright. No blocks for our opponent. They take 8. I'm going to play Chalice on 1. Doubt that's going to matter, but... I mean 2. I'll put Chalice on 2. Because I can't math. I was like, oh, I need to tap at least 4 mana because of Trinisphere, but did that wrong. Alright. I've got a feeling we are about to have a very bad time. Opponent Vials in Kiki. They're going to clone Munitions Expert. So, ping Munitions Expert. Kiki clones nothing. That was anticlimactic. I was expecting more. They play Skirk Prospector. Alright. I wonder if they have any tricks that could save Kiki from this Dismember. I don't think it's worth well, I mean, like, we gotta do it. He's too dangerous to be left alive. We untap, we draw Walking Ballista. Alright, big brain time. We got a Blast Zone in this deck, right? It doesn't hit any of our stuff, but it blows up Skirk Prospector and 2 Aether Vials, which means we probably need to do that. The alternative is just leaving up a huge Ballista, but, like, potentially my opponent could... Let me check the deck list. Okay, so the trick now is determining whether or not Walking Ballista or Blast Zone is better. I meant to put that Chalice on, too. It's probably Blast Zone, because at most my opponent could Pyre of Heroes once. And I could, like, ping down Goblin Matron so they can't get a 4-drop, or I could... and then untap Endbringer and have him for next turn. So if I Expedition Map, I have to use all of Urza's Tower, then Urza's Mine, get Blast Zone, then I have to use all of my mana to Blast Zone. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 mana. So I could, in theory, play Walking Ballista on 3. Yeah, Blast Zone is just better, I think. Play Expedition Map. Yeah, that's right. I meant to put that Chalice on, too. I big brained this play the whole time. 10 plays ahead. Get Blast Zone. Play Blast Zone. Blow up all 1-drops. Nice. Then I'm going to kill Goblin Matron, go to combat, and attack for 3. If they want to block, they can block. They don't. Alright, Endbringer untaps. Okay, they activate Pyre of Heroes to get another Kiki-Jiki. They can make a clone of Ringleader. This, in theory, draws them a bunch of creatures. So they have, like, all of these cards in their hand now. They lose their Goblin Ringleader at the end step. I think they're just dead, right? Okay, they attack, we block. Ping our opponent. Because they can't cast any spells. So we just play Ballista, shoot down Ringleader, attack them for 8, and they die. Walking Ballista X5. Nice. Whew. Do not think we are favored to win that. Alright, third Dismember in. What are we taking out? Probably Kozilek. Kozilek's just going to be too slow. Everything else has some game against our opponent. I could main deck Ratchet Bomb, but it's going to be a lot tougher with my opponent on the play. We're going to need a lot better hand. We got kind of lucky. We especially got lucky that I did not put that Chalice on 1. So, this is close. Double Dismember, I think, makes this keepable. If we top deck Power Plant or Expedition Map, or even really Eldrazi Temple, we're fine. Because we can start doing stuff. We will be taking a lot of damage from these Dismembers, so something to be aware of. Alright, opponent starts Aether Vial. We draw Chalice, play Mine, pass the turn, leave up Dismember. Aether Vial on 1. Opponent only has 3 cards in hand, so they mulliganed pretty low. Here comes a Snoop. Mog War Marshal on top of their deck. Okay, at the end step, Dismember. And doing this at the end step does matter, because if my opponent had a Skirk Prospector they could Vial in there, it would have been very bad for us, because they could have actually sacked both of their creatures and then... No, they can't do that, never mind. What am I saying? I don't know what I'm talking about. Play Chalice on 1. Pass the turn, do Tron things. Opponent may keep Aether Vial on 1, depending on what's in their hand. They take it up to 2. They say, I don't need to play any 1-drops. Alright, we untap. We draw another tower. Play tower. Play Matter Reshaper. Pass the turn. I mean, as long as they don't, like, Vial in Snoop and then have Kiki on top of their deck, we're probably fine. There's Mog War Marshal that they just drew. They get a token. They untap. Echo. They probably have to pay the Echo cost. They decide not to. That's also intimidating. Opponent throws Skirk Prospector into the Chalice. Can't be countered because of Cavern. Alright, we untap. Draw Crawling Barrens. Play Cavern. Name Eldrazi. Play Matter Reshaper. And I'm going to leave up Dismember because I've got a feeling we're going to need it. Go to combat. Attack for 3. Opponent only has 1 card in hand. They take 3. They say they need all their mana. I mean, they could, like, Vial in Harbinger at their upkeep. Draw Kiki. Alright, they took Aether Vial up to 4. Opponent goes to combat. No attacks. They pass. We untap. We draw Forsaken Monument. Play Crawling Barrens. Play Karn. This should force them to do something. They can no longer use Aether Vial. I don't know if I want to wish right now. I think I'm going to wish for Sky Sovereign. We should be able to protect Karn with 2 Matter Reshapers and a Dismember. Like, in theory. I could just get Walking Ballista, but we don't have, like, a ton of mana we can generate for it or anything. I'm going to take Sky Sovereign. Sky Sovereign seems sweet in this situation. So pass the turn. The problem is Dismember can't save Karn from a Munitions Expert, which is probably what they have now that I'm looking at it. But I can kill Skirk Prospector, and then they don't have mana next turn. So Munitions Expert, ping Karn. Yeah. Dismember Prospector. I forgot that Munitions Expert had Flash. Not that that really mattered, but maybe I should have just gotten... should have just got the Trinisphere. Alright, we untap. Draw Eldrazi Temple. Play Eldrazi Temple. Play Forsaken Monument. Go to combat. Attack for 10. We gotta race him down here. Opponent chumps and chumps. That might be a good sign for us. They probably got a ringleader here they can violin. They just fetch. Alright. Untap. Aether Vial stand on 4. They're hoping for a ringleader to draw some cards. They can't beat it, and we win the match. That was close. It was a lot closer than I wanted to anticipate there, and I really think we weren't favored. We just got a little bit lucky. That's how that feels. Anyway, I will see you all in round 4. Alrighty. Round 4. Here we go. We're very close to Tron, but this hand is pretty slow. I think I'm going to mulligan. This hand's a lot worse. I'm going to mulligan. Chalice on 1, Dismember, or I go to 4. I think I'll go to 4. Alright. We'll put back Power Plant, Walking Ballista, and Dismember. I'm going to keep Cavern of Souls just on the off chance I'm playing against a control deck. I am not, but Chalice on 1 should be great here, because this is probably burn. We draw Smasher, start Temple, pass the turn. Lightning Bolt. Opponent plays a mountain, passes, we untap, draw map, play Cavern, name Eldrazi, Chalice on 1. Pass the turn. Probably going to get Skullcracked or Searing Blazed or something. Well, no, because if it was Searing Blazed, they couldn't do it because we don't have a land. We get Boros Charmed. I did give up on Expedition Map to do this, but I think that's fine. Opponent passes, we untap, we draw Blast Zone, play Blast Zone, play Matter Reshaper, pass the turn. Opponent Lightning Helix. Oh, don't tell me they have enough 2-mana burn to get out of this. Opponent plays Eidolon. Okay. We untap, we draw Wastes, play Wastes, play Reality Smasher, go to combat, attack for 8. We're not going to be casting any spells that Eidolon can really damage us off of, so we're going to accept the hit of 2 here. Eidolon sticking around means our opponent is going to damage themselves and potentially put themselves in lethal range quicker. Okay, they hit us for 2, we go to 8. They suspend a Rift Bolt. And they skewer us, taking 2. Okay, we have to keep something back to block at a minimum next turn. So go to combat. Hit our opponent for 5. They go to 8. And Rift Bolt coming off suspend. Should be targeting our face. Like, we're dead to Boros Charm, Lightning Helix, or Skewer. Skullcrack as well. Alright, they got us, but just barely. Alright. Versus Burn. I think Walking Ballista and Wormcoil both go in the main deck now. All is Dust, well, All is Dust is still playable. Kozilek is not. I don't really want to play Dismembers in the main deck. I mean, I could just main deck like Ratchet Bomb and Batterskull. The problem is, if I play Karn on curve somehow and I'm not dead, I need something to wish for with lifelink probably, which is Batterskull. So I guess we'll keep it as is. Dismember, there's like some side utility for, kind of. Alright, Tron hand into All is Dust, Walking Ballista. We're going to keep. Hopefully it's good enough. Start Power Plant, play map. Pass the turn. Chalice on 1 versus Burn. I've seen Burn decks generally a lot lower to the ground, but with things like Skewer being printed within the last couple of years, Chalice on 1 is not as good because there are more spells they can cast around a Chalice. It's like Rift Bolt, they can, they cheat out for 1 mana, but it's not truly a 1 mana spell, that kind of thing. Do we get a Thought-Knot Seer? Play Urza's Tower. Pass the turn. Opponent untaps. Plays a Bloodstained Mire. Cracks Bloodstained Mire. Gets a Sacred Foundry. Untapped. Kind of hope they play Eidolon here. If they play Eidolon, I can All is Dust. Opponent goes to combat. Attacks us for 1. We go to 18. Hushbringer. Creatures entering the battlefield or dying don't cause abilities to trigger. Alright. I mean, that stops Thought-Knot Seer, but that's about it. Get Urza's Mine. We untap, draw Eldrazi Temple. Play Urza's Mine, so we have the option of All Is Dust. You know what? I'm going to cast All Is Dust here. Opponent untaps. Next turn we can play Thought-Knot Seer and Smasher. Opponent suspends a Rift Bolt. Suspends a Rift Bolt. Okay. We untap, draw Cavern, play Temple, play Smasher, play Thought-Knot Seer. Take a look at their hand. They've Smashed to Smithereens, Searing Blaze, Lava Spike, and Boros Charm. Well, I'm not going to play out any artifacts that they'll be able to smash, because they'll play Walking Ballista and just ping them with it. Searing Blaze only works if they have a land. Lava Spike we're going to take regardless, so we take Boros Charm. Go to combat, hit them for 5. Now, depending on what they top deck, it probably... It's nice because they have to choose targets for Rift Bolt prior to their draw, so they probably actually have to Rift Bolt Thought-Knot Seer twice to stay alive. Because if they don't, we have lethal on board. So they Thought-Knot Seer... Okay, so they can Searing Blaze to deal 1 damage even if they don't draw a land. That does keep them alive, at least until we play Ballista. Yep, so opponent gets to draw a card. But right now we still hit them for 5, and then shoot them for 3 with Ballista. Or 4. Like, unless the 2 cards they top decked were Land Path, we probably got them. Okay, Players is mine. Go to combat. Attack for 5. Take them to 3. And the old colorless Fireball. Nice. Run it back. I almost want to put Chalice on 2 versus them if I can. The problem is, though, going into Game 3, my opponent will be on the play, which is a huge disadvantage because they generally hit like their critical mass of burn on like turn 3. Maybe not this version of the deck, because this version seems to be playing a lot of 2-mana spells, possibly even to get around Chalice. So this might be like a turn 4 burn list, in which case we're probably, like, we have a little bit better of a chance. Not massively, but a little bit better. Either way, burn is a relatively bad matchup, and we're going to need a very good hand to do anything about it. Especially without spatial contortions anywhere in our list. Mine Tower. If we draw Power Plant, this hand's great. Otherwise, it's terrible, so we're going to mulligan. We have a Mind Stone. This opens us up to Smash to Smithereens really hard. It's not a terrible hand, but I think we can do better. Alright, I'm going to hope that Chalice on 1 is going to be good enough. Put back Smasher, Smasher. Opponent starts Inspiring Vantage into Monastery Swift Spear. Hits us for 1. We untap, draw Wastes, play Cavern, name Eldrazi, pass the turn. Opponent untaps, plays a Sunbaked Canyon into an Eidolon. They hit us for 1. We untap, draw Expedition Map. I think still Chalice on 1 is the highest upside play. If they have Smash to Smithereens, it's probably just game over. But this is our best bet. Opponent plays a Bloodstained Mire, hits us for 3. Take it and go to 13. Opponent cracks Bloodstained Mire for a mountain. Second Eidolon. Alright, we are kind of in huge trouble. So I can play Walking Ballista on 1, it does nothing. Or I can play Mind Stone and take 4, go to 9, then take 5 from them attacking. Then when I play Ballista... Oh gosh, this is way less than ideal. But I think I still have to cast Mind Stone here. Pass the turn. My opponent doesn't have to cast spells. That's what this boils down to right now. And if they have 2 mana burn, we just lose. Third Eidolon? Alright, we're taking 5. I mean, it's not like we have a pocket All Is Dust or anything. So take 5, go to 4, and now if I cast a single spell under CMC3, we lose. And Walking Ballista on 2 is not going to be enough. We draw a tower. Is there anything I can do about this? I can play Forsaken Monument, then play Walking Ballista on 0. It enters as a 2/2, but it never enters because we take 3 Eidolon triggers off of it. So my only hope is they have no No, because even if they have a 1-mana spell, they just throw into Chalice. Okay, so this is how this works. If my opponent has one castable spell, doesn't even have to resolve, we lose. They crack Bloodstained Mire. They get a Mountain. Boros Charm. Well, we were dead anyway. Triple Eidolon. 2-mana burn spell, post Chalice. Like, there's just nothing we could do. And none of our other hands had a Snowball's Chance in Hell versus that burn draw, so I think we did a valiant effort, but we definitely succumbed to bad matchup there. Alright, well, I will see you guys in round 5. Alrighty, round 5, here we go. I would like to play first. Can't keep that hand, that's a mulligan. Alright, this is a potentially turn 3 Tron, potentially turn 2 Thought-Knot Seer. I guess I have to really think about this, whether we start Tron lands or start Thought-Knot. I think we start Tron lands. I'm going to put back, it's either Ghost Quarter or All Is Dust. I am going to play Chalice on one, basically regardless. I'm going to put back Ghost Quarter. Hopefully I'm not against Tron. And we're going to start Tron lands because this gives us the highest potential upside. Either we play Thought-Knot on turn 3 because we played Eldrazi Temple, or we play Thought-Knot on turn 3 because we draw the last Tron land. Alright, we draw Walking Ballista. Opponent starts Urborg. Let's go ahead and throw down Chalice on one. Pass the turn. If this is 8 rack, I think we just beat them. I doubt it's 8 rack, though. Okay, opponent plays Marsh Flats. Smallpox. Alright, so let's discard All Is Dust. Opponent discards Stoneforge Mystic. We'll sack Power Plant. We untap. We draw Urza's Mine. Oh, we would have had it, too. Play Eldrazi Temple. Pass the turn. I'm not going to play out Walking Ballista. I will discard it if my opponent, like Raven's Crimes or Smallpoxes again or something like that. Okay. So discard Walking Ballista. And I think we got to sack Tower now. So our opponent is on 3-color Smallpox. We untap. Draw Thought-Knot Seer. Players is mine. Pass the turn. And as long as we draw a land, and we are playing 24 lands, so it's pretty high, as long as our opponent doesn't have another Smallpox effect. Okay, there's Stoneforge Mystic. We really need a land. If we can play a land, play Thought-Knot, and rip whatever they get out of their hand, that'll be perfect. Oh, I think we just lost. Oh, we would have been just fine versus 1 Smallpox, but 2 was too much. Batterskull is going to be not game-ending, but difficult to deal with. I can't Expedition Map. Pass the turn. Sad day. Here comes Batterskull. Alright. Opponent hits us for 5. We untap. We draw Dismember. Dismember is very painful. Pass the turn. I guess it's less painful because we have black mana, technically. Opponent goes to combat. Attacks for 5. We're going to Dismember the token. Take 2 less damage. Get hit for 1. Go to 10. We untap. Draw Matter Reshaper. Play Matter Reshaper. Okay, well, we're kind of still in this game, but only barely. Alright, opponent picks up Batterskull, so they will be able to sneak it back into play. Alright, so they're just going to replay Batterskull this turn. We draw Blast Zone, so play Blast Zone. Play Thought-Knot Seer. Let's take a look at our opponent's hand. They gotta put Batterskull into play in response to this. Okay, so they get a token. They can't cast any 1-drop spells, so there's no sense in us taking like Path or anything like that from them. But if they've got like a 4-mana Planeswalker, we probably would take that. They have Dismember. Alright, so they Dismember Thought-Knot, they draw a card, then we get to steal a card from their hand. Kaya's Guile, Elspeth, Sun's Nemesis, Fatal Push, Bloodchief's Thirst. Well, Fatal Push, Bloodchief's Thirst, they can't cast. They have 2 Kaya's Guile, so they're going to cast it anyway. So I think what we do is exile Elspeth, Sun's Nemesis, because that is the scariest thing they got. Pass the turn. It is kind of sad news they got Edicts, though. Opponent plays a Flagstones. I can't imagine they don't just Kaya's Guile right now. Yep. Sack Matter Reshaper. They get a Spirit. We draw Reality Smasher. They hit us for 5. We go to 5. Untap. Draw Ugin. Play Thought-Knot. Thought-Knot's going to have to trade with that token, and that's horrible. So take Kaya's Guile from them. They have 2 uncastable spells. Pass the turn. Ugin probably not going to come down soon enough to be relevant. They draw a land. They shock the land. Oh, okay, they can just equip the spirit and we're dead. Double Smallpox. Alright, so versus Smallpox.deck, do we have sideboard? We could bring in Grave Hate. Grave Hate might matter, because they do generally play things like Lingering Souls, and this looks like the old-ish list that's kind of like Black-White Stoneblade with Smallpox. I think I'm just going to run it back. I don't really think Relic is going to help me that much. Besides, I kind of do want to play Chalice on one, because a lot of their spells are really cheap. Alright, we'll play first. Alright, I'm going to keep this because we have Artifact Mana and Maps on the play. So we'll start Power Plant, Expedition Map, pass the turn. Opponent plays Flagstones, we untap, draw Thought-Knot Seer, play Cavern, name Eldrazi. I don't know if we go for Tron. I think we play Mind Stone, and then go for Eldrazi Temple. I could have mapped for Eldrazi Temple, but the fact that they let on Flagstones tells me they probably have turn 2 Smallpox. Lithiform Blight. So it's a rainbow land. Okay, that's fine. We don't really care about that too much. So, Expedition Map. I don't think Lithiform Blight's actually that good. Get Eldrazi Temple. Play Eldrazi Temple. Play Expedition Map. Pass the turn. If they have another Lithiform Blight, getting rid of Eldrazi Temple, that's fine. We'll just cast Thought-Knot. Hopefully take an Edict or something from them. They play a Swamp. They play Lily. They're going to make us discard. We'll discard Kozilek, because he's probably not coming down anytime soon. Shuffle in. So Smasher can take care of Lily. We untap. Draw Chalice. So I can map for 2, getting a Temple, then play Reality Smasher. Get an Eldrazi Temple. Play Eldrazi Temple. Go smashing. Go to combat. Hit Lily. Alright, opponent untaps. Plays a Plains. We untap. We draw Endbringer. Play Chalice on one. Opponent's going to make us sack and make a Spirit. Sure. They could do that at any time, so not that big of a deal. Then we'll play Thought-Knot. They have Stoneforge and Kaya's Guile. So if they play Stoneforge, they could get a sword and actually play out the sword. But if they get Batterskull, we'll have another Thought-Knot Seer to deal with Batterskull. So we're going to take Kaya's Guile, because that's their answer. Pass the turn. Okay, opponent plays Silent Clearing. Plays Stoneforge. Gets Sword, so they're going to go for the safe play of playing out the sword. It's going to draw them a lot of cards. They have 1 unknown in hand. They hit us for 1. We untap. Draw Wastes. Play a Wastes. I'm going to start by cycling Mind Stone. We get All Is Dust. That actually matters a ton. I could Thought-Knot Seer right now. They're going to draw 2 cards. Endbringer is just higher power level, though. The concern is they have some sort of hand hate that they can get by a Chalice that can hit All Is Dust, like Collective Brutality or something like that. But if they Smallpox, I just discard Thought-Knot, sack a land I don't care about. So we hit them for 4. They untap. The desire is that they play out a bunch of permanents that have colored mana symbols in their in their mana costs. They hit us with the Spirit, so they get to shock something and then draw a card. They shock us. They draw. They sack Silent Clearing. We untap. Draw Matter Reshaper. All Is Dust. If they put Batterskull into play, they have to sack the token. They have another equipment they're putting in. Okay. Batterskull. Okay, they sack all of their stuff, go to combat, hit them for 9. They go to 5, Endbringer untaps. Hopefully if they have a token that they try and equip to, we can just ping it down. They sack Silent Clearing to draw. Alright, we get there. Okay, last match. Opponent will be on the play. So, I don't think we want Dismember. Yeah, we're just going to run it back. Hopefully our opponent doesn't have like 5 smallpoxes and sticks a threat, so... it's a bit risky. I'm going to try keeping it. If we draw like Expedition Map, any temple, or tower, which... What is that, 12 cards in our deck? This hand is good. We will start with a Wastes, though. Okay, opponent thought seizes us. They did mulligan to 6. So they can take probably Matter Reshaper, because that's the first thing they're going to have to worry about. Yeah. Alright, we untap. We draw Ghost Quarter. Play Wastes. Pass the turn. Actually, should have played Ghost Quarter. So that if they tried to smallpox me on 2, I could just Ghost Quarter them in response, and then they'd have to sack their basic or whatever. Okay, opponent plays a Flagstones and passes. We untap. We draw Crawling Barrens. Play Power Plant. Pass the turn. Really hoping they don't have Cleansing Wildfire. Let me check my deck list really quick. I don't know how many basics I'm playing off the top of my head, and that's something that I really should know. 2. I am playing 2 basics. Alright. We're not playing Warping Whale, which is something we need to be aware of. Opponent plays a Swamp. Lily. Okay, they play Lily. I think we discard Ghost Quarter here. They discard a Plains. Would like an Eldrazi Temple. Scavenger Grounds. Players is mine. Pass the turn. So, when my opponent upticks Lily, I think we gotta discard Reality Smasher. No, we gotta discard a Thought-Knot Seer. We need Reality Smasher. Okay, opponent plays Stoneforge. Reveals Batterskull. They uptick Lily. We discard Thought-Knot Seer. Hopefully they don't have a Thoughtseize. That would be terrible here. Okay. We draw Chalice. So, play Crawling Barrens. Play Thought-Knot Seer. Strip them of Batterskull. They have Blood Chief's Thirst. Okay. Pass the turn. So opponent opponent has to downtick Lily here to deal with Thought-Knot. They get to draw a card from that. They have Blood Chief's Thirst, 1 unknown in hand. Okay, it was Flagstones. So they may just full price Blood Chief's Thirst here and uptick Lily. If they do that, though, we discard Chalice, play land, play Smasher. Okay, they get to draw a card. Yeah, I think they're going for Lily ult as fast as they can. Okay, so we discard Chalice, because we don't need it. Opponent discards the Fatal Push they just drew, which is good for us. Reality Smasher has Trample, so they can't stop us from hitting Lily. Play Power Plant. Play Smasher. Go to combat. Attack Lily. If they block, Crawling Barrens should get to a large enough size that... Oh, they have Lingering Souls flashback. So opponent will be able to downtick Lily. Okay. Yep. Lily goes to 3. Opponent untaps. I can't imagine a reason they wouldn't flashback Lingering Souls here. So, it's too bad we couldn't Scavenger Grounds that beforehand, but... We untap and draw an Urza's Tower. Play Urza's Tower. 2/1/1 counters on Crawling Barrens. Yep. Go to combat. Attack Lily. Kind of hoping my opponent double blocks. Okay, they don't fall into that trap. Pass the turn. I didn't realize that you had the option, like a May turn Crawling Barrens into a creature. That's actually huge. Okay, opponent makes us discard Scavenger Grounds. They discard 1 of 2 cards in their hand. It's a Swamp. So opponent passes. Pump Crawling Barrens. We will not use its ability. Untap. We draw Dismember. Okay, Dismember the Spirit. We have to kill Lily here. Pump Crawling Barrens. Go to combat. Please no removal. You're kidding. Their deck's a pile of removal, so like this was bound to happen. So now we're gonna need an All Is Dust off the top, I think, to get back in this game. We have like 4 turns to do it. Dismiss this because we don't need it. Okay, opponent plays a Godless Shrine. They're gonna uptick Lily, hit us for 1. Alright, we untap. Chalice. A lot of my opponent's 1-mana spells no longer matter. So I think what I'm going to do is put Chalice on... If I put Chalice on 3, they can't cast Kaya's Guile, they can't cast Sword, they can't cast Lingering Souls at all, they can't cast any more Lilies, they can't cast Kaya. If I put it on 2, there's no more Stoneforge Mystic, no more Smallpox. I'm not particularly scared of Smallpox, and if I put it on 3, I can't play Matter Reshaper or Dismember. I would be sad about not being able to play a Matter Reshaper, but I think putting Chalice on 3 is the way to go here. Pass the turn. Opponent hits us for 1. We go to 14. They discard Fatal Push. We untap. We draw Wastes. Play a Wastes. Pass the turn. We got 2 turns to draw something. Maybe even 3. It's scary because our opponent... Never mind. They discard Lingering Souls, hit us for 1. We untap. We draw Walking Ballista, which is absolutely enormous. Tapping for 1 more mana than I need, don't even care. Oops. Maybe I should care, because it's going to cause me to misclick. Play Walking Ballista. Ping Lily 4 times. They can uptick her to 2, but we can put more counters on Ballista, snipe the Spirit, and then kill Lily. I might regret this if my opponent happens to draw like a Fatal Push or something that can kill Ballista. Well, we're going to find out what it is before. This takes us off of Tron. Do we care? This lets us only put 1 counter. Alright, I'm going to use this time to kill Lily. We should be able to deal with a 1/1 Spirit. Opponent gets to draw a card. I guess this card cantripping actually makes it somewhat decent. They play Flagstones, they sack Flagstones and find probably a Godless Shrine tapped. Sacred Foundry. Alright. They hit us for 1. The only concern, I guess they can't play Sword. They'd have to Stoneforge it out. We get a Karn. Play Karn. Wish with Karn. And we are going to get a... I feel like Liquid Metal Coating is actually going to be too slow. Just blowing up a land every turn I don't think is going to be good enough. Sky Sovereign dodges sorcery speed removal, as well as answers the Spirit immediately. It does give my opponent a turn to, I guess, nab it out of hand. I could just get Relic and cycle the Relic. Or I could get Ballista. You know what? We're going to go for Coating. Play Coating. Pass the turn. We may not... turn off Savai Triome. We may not focus on blowing up lands, but I needed something I could play that turn. Okay, opponent gets Stoneforge. They get Sword of Fire and Ice. If they cast it, though, Chalice counters it, so we need a way to answer Stoneforge next turn. They hit Karn for 1. They can't equip it, as long as we have Karn. And we just drew Tower, so I think this is game over. Because I'm pretty sure we just get a massive Walking Ballista, and then there's nothing our opponent can do about it at all. Yeah, we'll give up on Karn. Alright, Walking Ballista. For approximately 1 million mana. And by 1 million, I mean 12. Play Walking Ballista, X6. Ping Spirit. Ping Stoneforge. Ping it again. Pass the turn. Without Karn on board, my opponent could actually equip the sword and after putting it into play with Stoneforge, but they still can't cast it. They play Liliana into a Chalice. Man, am I glad we put Chalice on 3. Alright, so we know our opponent is holding a sword. We untap. We draw Karn. Perfect. Play Karn. We're going to have a little fun. I mean, blowing up a land is probably the way to go here, but we're going to wish for Forsaken Monument, because it's going to make Walking Ballista a faster clock that may actually just ping down our opponent next turn. So we will use Karn, the Great Creator's ability. Get Forsaken Monument. Play Forsaken Monument. Counter up Ballista. Oh, it adds an additional colorless. Okay. I mathed that wrong. I thought it doubled the colorless. Alright, go to combat. Hit our opponent for 6, take them to 9. And if we untap, they lose. Opponent gets 1 draw. Blood Chief's Thirst. Alright, well, we don't quite lose. I mean, actually, they're dead, because we just animate Forsaken Monument and beat them with Oh, no, I know exactly what I'm going to do. I was going to say, we could Liquid Metal Coating Karn, animate Karn, and have Karn get in for the final damage. That's what I was going to do. Oh, that was fun. Well, we 4-1. Hey, we got some rewards packs. Alright, let's open up our treasure chests. Treasure chest number 1. 10 play points and a Mirror Mockery. Treasure chest number 2. 5 play points, a Fungus Sliver, and a Knight of New Alara. Treasure chest number 3. 20 play points and a Zatalpa Primal Dawn. Treasure chest number 4. 10 play points, and a Molder Slug. Treasure chest number 5. 5 play points, the Great Henge, and Scepter of Insight. You know what? We'll open up these promo packs. Let's see what we get. Ooh, a full art Silvergill Adept. Reward pack number 2. A Stonehaven Outfitter. Okay. Reward pack number 3. 5 promo planes. Kind of generic art. Number 4, a Gate Colossus promo. Nice. I like Gate Colossus. Gate Shift was fun in Modern. 5, Reigns of Power. Promo Commander staple, I think. And final player rewards pack. A Garruk Savage Herald. Alright. So let's talk about Eldrazi Tron for a second. Chalice confirmed good card. That's what I have to say right now. Forsaken Monument, it feels like Forsaken Monument is a little bit deep. It is fun. And at least one time it gave us a ton of pressure with the Matter Reshapers versus Goblins, but we were probably winning that game anyway. It just definitely shortened the clock, and like my opponent couldn't just play Conspicuous Snoop into have Kiki on top win the game or something like that. So there is that much. Crawling Barrens, I have a new, better opinion of. I did not realize that this land optionally animated. I thought that you had to put 2 counters on it, and then it became a creature until end of turn. My apologies, because there are people who I was like, nope, Crawling Barrens is a bad card in the YouTube comments, in my Discord, other Tron players. My apologies, I have a newfound respect for this card. Is it good enough to see play in Green Tron? Probably not, because your land space is really tight. I will say that if you were going to play a man land, this is probably the man land you would play in Green Tron, but I still don't think you would play this in Green Tron. I think that is kind of desperation. Not with as many Cleansing Wildfire, Ghost Quarter effects exist. You'd need at least 4 slots for your basics, possibly even 5. So, but if you were playing some sort of weird 24 land Tron list, Crawling Barrens probably would make the cut. I do kind of think that out of the side, we should probably drop Sorceress Spyglass for Pithing Needle, and the 3rd Dismember either should be a Spatial Contortion, or we should go all in on artifacts, and with colorless Eldrazi Tron, it should be Mystic Forge. Because like there are times where it's like we play Karn, we wish we want to end the game, like but Karn's not going to stick around, so we need something else that's going to give us a card advantage, and I really think Mystic Forge would round out the sideboard quite well. 24 lands felt like a lot. It was kind of sad versus Smallpox, where all we needed to draw was a land after getting Smallpox twice, and we just couldn't. But it felt really nice in Game 2 for the same reason, because we were drawing a bunch of extra lands, and we were smart enough to keep Chalice of the Void in hand to pitch to Lily, and then deal with that situation with a Reality Smasher. I think my keeps were reasonable. Mulliganing with this deck doesn't feel as bad as mulliganing with Greentron for me right now, because Greentron, my mulligans have just been terrible. I've not kept a good green... I think out of like the last 10 Greentron hands I had, so the last league I played with it, I kept maybe 2 or 3 good Tron hands. So like, you know, you assemble Tron on turn 3, but not great Tron hands, because at least one of those times I didn't even have a threat, and that bit me. And the other times I got interrupted along the way because my opponent assembled Tron first or something like that. So mulliganing with this deck feels a little more forgiving, because it almost feels like you're playing 16 Tron lands with Eldrazi Temple instead of 12. Ghost Quarter was definitely, like, I like having access to a Ghost Quarter in a Tron list, especially Eldrazi Tron, but I don't think it mattered too much. Double Cavern, I think, felt right. I don't know about Kozilek. This should probably be Nulamog, not Kozilek, but at least it gives us game versus Mill if we run into Mill, which is showing up more in the metagame right now, even though I haven't run into it. I've been checking some of my tertiary metagame statistics websites beyond MTG Goldfish, and I've seen a few more Mill lists than I normally do. But, yeah. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave a like, drop a comment, subscribe to the channel if you're so inclined. And you can also follow me on Twitch. Same username over there as you find me on here. I stream Wednesdays at 6 p.m. Mountain Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, though the last few have been earlier. Doing YouTube and playing Magic is my hobby, so any support that I can get from you guys is great. I still have a full-time job, and I'm trying to get to monetization so I can at least take a little bit of the edge off of spending money on Magic, but it's not a huge pain. I still enjoy doing this, so I would be doing it anyway if I wasn't making content. So I want you guys to know that I appreciate your viewership, and I think you're all wonderful human beings. I've been getting an overwhelming amount of positive feedback and support from everybody through just about every single channel that I have, so I want to thank you all for that. You guys are wonderful. Out of all of the people who watch that I interact with, I'm amazed at the positivity and like welcoming nature of everybody. We all seem to have the same sense of humor, and it's pretty great. So like, if you guys want to hang out with other people from the YouTube comments, from my Twitch chat, feel free. You can join the Discord link in the description below. It's kind of like my Twitch chat, but every single day of the week, which is pretty wonderful. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed, and if you did, I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!